Keegan Latham is one of the hardest working men in racing. He's also I reckon, one of the nicest guys in racing. And boy, does he have a story to tell about the week that he's had. Off you go, Ben.
Set the scene for him. Why not?
Keegs.
Hey,
Keegs,
hey guys, how are you?
or Superman, as we like to refer to him now, who, you know what? You described him as a nice guy. We've seen that through the past couple of days. So I'll set the scene, Keegs. We've got a young, non-verbal, autistic girl who's left her place at Hawkesbury. It's a rural area essentially, so it's surrounded by bushland. She's gone missing. Police are involved, helicopter searches, the fireys are there. The SAS, I think, are there as well. SES? SES. They've all headed along and they're all searching for this girl and struggling. And you've taken it upon yourself to go out there and look for her as well. And it's one of those stories that you just, as soon as you hear it, you think, oh, this is not going to end well. But thankfully, come 6:30 p.m., when it was already dark, there was a positive spin to it. And you were out there searching with another couple of guys and were a major part in having her found. Tell us how it all played out. And just before you even get into it, well done.
I really appreciate that. It's quite a crazy turn of events, to be honest. My wife Nancy, she obviously follows a few Facebook forums of the local area, and she said that this autistic girl had gone missing. And you kind of think, oh, they'll find her in a couple of hours, and a few hours had gone by, and it was beginning to get a bit dark in the area, and she was still missing. So I opted to drive up to Glossodia, which is probably about 20 minutes from where I am. And when you get in there, you can see the amounts of cars and the amounts of local community that are really getting involved in trying to find her. And because of her autism and the fact that she she was non-verbal, you really kind of worried about how much you could actually do, because you could be calling out her name, Ava, and you're not going to get much of a response. So it's literally going to be just a matter of being able to see her, to spot her. And when I first got there, I parked up, and there was obviously loads of cars around, and got out of the car and met these two guys that were kind of just standing right near where I'd just parked. One's Charles and his cousin Luke, and was just pretty much asking if they'd found her. And excuse me. And they said that the police wouldn't allow them into the property because they had the sniffer dogs out trying to get some sort of a scent. And when you hear that kind of thing, you think, oh, it's not looking really good at the moment. And while we were busy talking there and deciding what our next plan of attack was, we could hear plover birds swooping down on a girl that was crying. And initially, we just thought that it was a girl that belonged to that specific property. And we actually thought, no, hang on a second. There's no one around to help this girl, and she just got her hands above her head.
So you could see her, Keegs? You could.
Yes, she was only maybe about 50 meters from where I'd parked up.
Wow.
So it was just completely coincidental that we were just in the right place at the right time to spot her. And like I say, it was getting pretty dark at this point, so we could only just make her out. And so we both ran into the property, and we could see that she still had her nappy on, and she just had a
Oh.
shirt, and obviously matched the description of what she had been given to us. And so we picked her up. We obviously asked if she was Ava, but like I say, she's obviously was autistic, so she couldn't respond to that. But we knew well that it was her, and yeah, we took her back down to where everybody else was, and there was a lot of applauding, and people very very over the moon that she'd been found. And Charles, the guy that picked her up here, he was the one that took her up to the house and pretty much handed her back over to her parents.
Yeah, it is hard because the police in these instances, they are often saying, don't all come to the area because
Makes it more convoluted and
it,
difficult. And
it does. But the locals are the ones who know the areas
Mm.
best, and clearly you heard and thought, hang on, this area is pretty dicey. So she was in a nappy and a shirt. So, it gets pretty cool at night, even though it's been unseasonably warm. If she's out there all night, we might be talking about a completely different result. You guys have essentially saved a young girl's life.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I think it also hit home with Charles as well, who is the father of 3 kids and one having autism as well. So he made the
Mm,
journey out from Grosvale, and so it was just like I say, right place, right time. That all 3 of us were there, and there's no doubt that the same property was passed by multiple other people,
yeah.
but because of these plover birds that had been swooping on it, she had obviously gone into hiding, and they had completely missed her. And she'd obviously got to a certain time of the day or night, should I say, where she's beginning to get a bit hungry and decided to come out and try and find some sort of other human. And these birds started swooping on her again, causing her to cry. But her cry was the best thing that could have happened because it
Mm.
allowed us to find her.
I'll never curse a swooping plover bird ever again,
Oh
which
gosh,
I've done a million times.
because they're terrifying.
Terrifying.
Keegs, you're a legend, mate.
Oh,
Well
it's-
done for just because sometimes, like if you're in whether you're up in the Hawkesbury area or where I live or wherever you live, sometimes there are those alerts, and you go, "Oh, I don't want to be a pest. I don't want to go and
Mm,
involve myself because you don't want to insert yourself into a situation. But if you feel really strongly that you can help out,
mm,
go and do it. Like,
yeah.
don't be scared of helping for someone who needs the help, and that's what Keegs has done, and he got a result.
Yeah, in my past life as a police reporter, often the police would say, "Hey, we'll look after the search," but you can be bringing them food and coffees, and there's lots of things that you can do. And I'm sure Keeks was thinking, "Hey, I just need to get down there and help in whatever capacity I can do." Very quickly before we let you go, mate, have you met the parents at all? Did you happen to see? I know that the other fellas brought her up there, but did you get to see their response or their
No,
joy?
I didn't. I didn't at all. Once because Charles got her, took her into the police car and took her up because there was obviously a car full of policemen. I just kind of was like, well, job done.
Yeah.
Off we
Yeah.
go home now, and it was a fantastic result. And I know exactly where they live, so maybe when things have all died down, it'd be nice to take a trip up there and just introduce myself and see how little Ava's doing.
Take
Yeah.
them some treats maybe that Nancy and the kids can bake, and I'm sure you gripped your 2 little kids very tightly the
Oh,
next day as well. Hey, before you go though, you got something coming up for us? You got something that you like over the next couple of weeks that
hang
we
on,
can.
hang on. This is an interview about him being a hero,
Yeah, but
and you're trying to get an
we're
edge.
racing shows. Geeks knows me. You got anything?
Not as yet. I mean, as you know, the jockey room is quite a tough place to be at the moment. There's many jocks out there, many very good jocks out there that are all scrapping for the same ride. So I don't have anything to look forward to as such. But I'm sure your little filly will be coming
She's
back.
back.
There you go. So
Yeah.
hopefully, if J Mac would allow me, I'd like to jump back on her.
Good
She's
luck.
back in work and she will be hopefully off to the trials in a couple, probably 3-4 weeks' time. So she's yours, mate.
Perfect.
There you go.
Love it. Thanks
Keegan
very much,
Latham.
Keegs. Good to have you on.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
He's one of the real nice guys, great rider as well. And he's ridden a few winners for me personally and very generous with his time with owners and whatnot, but obviously very generous with his time outside of racing and being able to help people in need.
So we think has peaked.
We cannot beat what we've done today.